Hello everyone, we are going to be looking at some predictions today as well. So September, look at the themes that I did. Do to catch the previous ones, and the Q&As are often quite futuristic, so have a look at those. But we do have volatile stocks and economy. I do think there's going to be an announcement again, something new I'm getting through for education. It's going to actually upset some people, this announcement or introduction on the education. There's going to be a scandal from leadership or a famous top tier, and it's going to be tried to be covered up. Now, there is also a covert energy where some things are happening that are scandalous that we cannot see, especially if it's something that's around the 22nd kind of energy in September, but eventually we will see some of it. But there is something that we don't know is happening because it's covered, that we might get to know later on. The economy, we will see spikes, but then we'll also see some difficulty. The market are going to be a bit down. There might be some spikes. And, you know, I've said about the fire, the water, the earth, and the air elements, and looking after our health during that time. So I think that's really important. With that, I am going to probably look at some Q&A. Let's have a look at some Q&A questions. This is not September, but I think about 2028, 2030. There's going to be a large weather element, and I'm not sure if I feel that it's an earthquake, but something large will be coming through, and it's a bit mass. Now, I think you may have heard that a lot of people are saying about a 30-year reset, and it will come to 2030. So I think also look out for the 2028 to 2030 are, it's going to be interesting to see what comes through on that. But I do think, I don't know who's going to be present in 2028, but there's something that the US doesn't handle very well. The best way that it can handle, by the way, or something that it can handle. But I don't want you to think like it's a war invasion. I want you to think something like, I'll give you this example. So for example, in the UK, we don't think Boris Johnson handled the whole big C thing very well at all. And they were all partying while we were isolated at home. But I think this is on the grounds of like agriculture, food, climate. Something happens and the USA doesn't handle it very well. So I do want to put that forward. The 2030 element, so it should have been the reset should have happened by 2030. I'm going to pull cards for 2028 and 2030. Let's see what we get as of now. Okay, so I was asking for 2028 first, but Spirit's like 2030 first, then 2028. So I'm going to go with what I'm getting told. I've got 3 cards out straight away. So it's 2030, right? We've got the 10 of Cups, which is a beautiful card. We've got the King of Swords, which seems to be like we're no longer fighting for truths. The truths have landed. 10 of Cups, a much happier place. we've got the world upside down. So something's happened, it's changed the world, it's turned the world upside down. This to me looks like the reset has occurred. Let's look at 2028. One card has come out. We want 3 cards. Ooh, 2028 looks powerful. This is why I wanted to pull it. I've just seen the Tower. First card out was the Fool. It's in reverse, okay. The Magician is number 2. And the High Priestess in number 3. So can you see why 2030 is a lot more settled energy? And this is what I was feeling. The Fool in reverse. A lot of impulsivity, a lot of unknowns, a lot of things that could be shaky, chaotic. So if I think of what I just channeled in terms of the US in 2028, but we get the Magician and the High Priestess. And you remember in 2030, I said, we see the truths, whatever lands, it lands and we see the truth without any illusion, not this disparity of so much consciousness that's out there where you're like, how did they not get out? I just can't. I just can't with these people. And then here we've got the Fool, all right? Some may say, you know, you're no longer acting like a fool, but this is like, there's not the risky energy that, you know, don't take that leap of faith in 2028. There isn't that sort of no thinking, take the leap of faith. Yet there's all the elements here. There's everything we need that's getting presented. This is where I say 2028 we could see something quite big happening between 28 to 2030. The Magician has it all, doesn't he? And he can deliver. The High Priestess is that we see things clearly, though. You know, look at the Ace of Swords. We see things clearly. Things that are hidden are very difficult to be hidden during this time. And so that's the cards I get. Look how powerful that is. 3 cards, and in 2028 we get a very powerful cards there. So let's continue on to some other things. So I've had a question on the governor of California in terms of him going forward. I think he is going to get where he needs to be in the 3 years. I don't know what he's going for, but I do think his future looks good and he's elevating. So is it Josh Shapiro? No. Who is it? It's oh dear, Zain. Oh dear. And the dog is barking and it gets me shaking, like what the hell is he barking at? Gavin Newsom, yeah, Gavin Newsom. Okay, so yeah, I do see a good future for him in the next 3 years. I don't know, is he going for something? Can someone let me know? The UK, let's see, let's pull cards. I think what I get with Keir Starmer right now in this energy, and I've got something on Keir actually, he is going to be backtracking on something that he wanted to take forward. But I don't think what he backtracks on is going to please us. It's not like I'm introducing a policy on something. I say this because the energy is that the leaders... One second. Okay, so back to Keir Starmer. So some leaders would have like made decisions in terms of introducing something new, but actually backtracking on their decision. But their backtracking is actually a good one. For him, I get he backtracks on something. Let's see if he backtracks on something that's going to pee us off even more. do think he also could backtrack on something, because there's going to be an outcry. Like, it's just going to be, yeah. He backtracks on something to do with health. I don't know what that is. I'm just getting that through. So he will backtrack on, like similar leaders on the theme I said, he's going to backtrack on something where he made a decision that was out of ego. He's backtracking on it. And it could be world affairs. It could be farmers. It could be agriculture. There's something to do with world, though, and trade. And he backtracks on that. And that actually turns out to be for the better. He will backtrack on a decision that it could also be related to health. It could be related to health. It could be related to people that kind of need help. Maybe disability. And that is the backtrack that he does is not necessarily one that we want to hear. So that is coming through there. I've got a large note on Keir Starmer, but I haven't done it. No one was interested in having that reading when I asked. I do also see there's a woman that gets signed an NDA to keep quiet. And she's going to be coming forward, or really, really wants to. I feel like she really, really wants to. And she's going to be linked to Ep and Duck. So I put that out there as well. Okay, now let's go to some predictions before they might come through and you might be like, what's the point? What have we got? Okay, so firstly, for the energy healing and the group energy healing, that it's discounted. The group energy healing, if you're not sure about it, this is my services. I'll do it once a month and it's only £25. And all I need is your name, and you pay via the PayPal, and I note your name down, and it's a group energy healing that I do on the dates that I inform you of. Separately, obviously, the energy healing and the psychic readings for psychic guidance, for whatever you need it for, are having a discount at this moment in time. So you can email if you're interested in that. Because it's all set prices and then there's a discount, you might find that a lady called Fiona will answer you, because there's no like additional questions that need to be answered. But if you've got specific questions that she's not able to answer, you'll find that I probably answer or passed on to me. So I just wanted to let you know of that. It's always good to have some energy healing, clearing. You could even want an energy reading or a psychic guidance for just this moment in time. I don't know if I've done this one actually. I think I might have done that. I don't know why I've still got it, but some interesting stuff about DS. Deep S. Oh, I want to say that, I got one of the things I got noted here. This is actually from the 20th of June. So I'm not going to go over it. I think I might have done it. But I've got here, Ivanka might deliver a message through either a pose, through a photo shoot, through a dress of DS, deep S. So I don't know if I covered that previously. I'm going to just delete this because I don't know if some of it's already come through. The golden age is coming up. Do help others, be kind, spread love. A lot of people are saying about World War III coming up. Oh, we've got some on Keir Starmer here. Keir is going to be in some big trouble. So this is from 30th of June. Keir's going to be in some trouble. He's going to take U-turns. He's going to, we know he's not a strong leader. There's going to be U-turn, not reasonable. That's not reasonable, not normal, will be as reasonable. I don't know what that means. A lot of people saw him as an organized leader, as opposed to what we had with Boris, who was all over. So people felt he was a safer, stable voting. This is things that I've just got picking up in terms of why people voted for him. Obviously, it makes sense, even though I've channeled that. Jeremy's too left-wing. Something Labour Party, a house or a car that someone used to own could be set fire or have a fire. So I don't know if that's come through from 30th of June. Can you remember, I've always mentioned Keir Starmer has some sort of developmental, or it's not a disability, but it's something he has been able to cover up. But there is a stunt there, and I always see it, and I don't know if it's a mental, an agility of being able to needing time to pick things up and translate them into swift action. There's a difficulty there, and it could have been early on. He also had a difficulty to speak and understand stuff swiftly. There's something there, and I also think that he struggles with vitality at the moment. Do people think that he's a psychological wreck? And I don't mean this in a fun way, I mean it in true. Or as much as people think. No, people don't necessarily think that he's a psychological wreck. There is some, there's definitely a hiding of something. And that he's not honest with, and it's personally in his role that he's playing in the UK as well. So Labour supported him so far, from what I believe. And the one thing that changes, or the more things that change, it's like the more things stay the same and don't actually improve, but just get worse. And if Keir is forced out, then it's Labour that's going to vote who takes the place. Is that the way it works? I feel like there's a woman waiting in the wings, but I don't know if she's going to get it. And the thing is, I don't know all the names. And do you think this woman that's waiting in the wings is actually going to be better? Is she more of a lefty? And I think there's always this thing of you can't tell in someone until, you know, someone is actually in that position. But there's like a twinning energy of someone who is wanting to take the role over, which is not good. I do see a dramatic 2 to 3 years for the UK. So I don't know, is this her taking over? That she's coming in and then this happens? And I've got something WEA streeting, pull cards to read on it. I'm going to pull cards on is Britain declining. I'm going to try and refrain from what I think. It is. Okay. It's not in a good place at this moment in time. You know, it's not in a good place. As much as they're saying they're changing stuff, nothing is getting changed. Actually, people are feeling more, I'm getting the word incubated. So boiling point. Nothing moving forward, restricted, held back, but in an incubation. And people just want a better financial stability, want safety. You know, they brought out that special police elite, which I can't say much about. I was going to do a reading about it, but I haven't. I have got the channeled message that I wanted to say about that. But I think there's only so much we want to hear about that rubbish before we hear about something better. So it's like the immigration, instead of dealing with the root cause, what countries do is they bring it in and it's a vicious cycle. There's so much undelivered messaging through immigration. And I'm not talking about the UK, I'm talking overall in general on why it's introduced. And I was going to do a reading on that anyway. So we diverted a little bit there to talk about Keir and see whether I said that. Let's go to some Q&A. Do you see some dome cities or underground areas in the US being built? Yes, and I think this is because some areas are going to get extreme heat. Some states are going to get some extreme heat. So I do see some cities, and I see like dome cities or underground, like you're saying. And that's because one of the major factors is because of the excessive heat. Is the US becoming more and more irrelevant? Because it seems like this is what's happening right now. And maybe they're trying to fight for their place as what we knew as the US. BRICS is gaining momentum, or is becoming more significant than the US. I don't think the US is becoming more irrelevant. I think it still has its strong positioning. I think BRICS is gaining momentum, and it's becoming more and more known, and it is trying to hold some of its power. It's not trying to outshine it. And we've got NATO at the back somewhere. I think the US might have a restart, but I don't see it becoming more and more irrelevant. I don't see that at all. But I do see that people are trying to, starting to understand now the power games within politics and the need of power in the game, or at least not to be overshadowed in terms of the game or what matters for their placement in the world. And so whether this is going to be food, stocks, trades, etc. So I do think that, and food, stocks, trades especially, is going to be a strong power of what BRICS is going to be focusing on. That's what I get. Media seems to be cracking down on, there seems to be cracking down of acts. So will YouTube and TikTok be targeted? I think I mentioned this, where they're going to be using children's stuff in a good way, but also to really crack down on some channels. And I think, you know, YT, TikTok, I do think there's going to be a lot more scrutiny on those platforms and social media via acts that include, now how that act is going to be, and if it's AI that's going to filter, so there's going to be unfair filtering of some channels. I do see that as well, but there's going to be a larger scrutiny. It is said that Russia wants to target and take Alaska. Will they be able to do this? I don't think they're going to be able to do this if that is their thing. No, they're not going to be able to do this. 1 second. Sorry, I could hear a lot of banging, so I just called to see where this fella was. And so now he wants to sit on my knee. But yeah, so I do see that it seems like it is something that is either being spoken of, or something that they've thought of, or something that maybe they, you know, in jest trying to say. But I don't see that they will be able to do so. I also get with this card that other countries might try to, but I don't think they're going to be successful. Will Pierre win back his seat in the Battle River in Alberta, or will Bonnie win? I think Pierre will come forward, but I'm not sure if that's what people want. I don't know why. Yeah, I'm getting mixed energy here. It's like there might be some people that don't really want it. But I think he's gonna win back his seat in the like, I think he's gonna get his way, basically, is a better way for me to say. He's gonna get his way, but not like pushing, I'm gonna get my way, but he gets his way. But the way I'm seeing it is, I'm not sure it's what people want. So in this, in the past, I've said about Hollywood, and I'm getting it again. Like, will Hollywood or the filming industry stop using real humans? And I think they will stop using real human actors, and there will be AI, but there'll also be roles that need to be human. And it's still going to need a bit of time before all that is AI. But most, if not all, will be around AI. And if you've not seen the predictions before this around the September themes, I discussed the AI, and I discussed the replacement of AI around creators, and really we can also help that in a sense, the authenticity. So do check that out. There will be a need for like the human side of it, where it could be a bit more creative writing as opposed to AI, or something around that side. So I've got a couple of questions around pets, which one I've had in the past and I don't think I've included it, so I wanted to include it, was, can a human reincarnate as a pet? I don't think, I say think because I don't believe so, but others might believe that they can reincarnate as a pet. For me, it's a nope. Do pets have dreams? Yes, they do have dreams, and I believe pets also can astral travel. You've mentioned CRISPR genetic engineering. Will it be used to treat cancers? Yes. It's going to be used to treat a lot of stuff. It's going to be slow, but it's definitely coming. And with these things is I sometimes question on how much they actually have, but they're not introducing right away. Yeah, definitely. We get the 10 of Wands, so we get the cancer, we get the elimination, and here we get the 5 of Cups. Again, it's something that's going to take some time, and it's kind of like being tested, and it's going to come down to which countries their authorities really allow it to come forward as soon as it's tested and proved a lot more, giving it the clear, the Emperor. I've got a question here about the nuclear or the moon. NASA is stating it's going to place some nuclear on the moon. Will it do so? I actually think there's already, if not it's coming, it might have come since, I think there's already a nuclear or a plant or a kind of device on the moon. Might not be a nuclear plant, but yes, and if it's not NASA, someone else will do it. If you remember my predictions last year, I was going to say, look, over time NASA's going to become irrelevant, and there's going to be a replacement of that. They need to step up their game to be NASA, what we've once known, and watch that fazzle them behind. So yes, there's already something on the moon from that sort. I think there's going to be more coming out on Ep, okay, if you're not bored of that yet. East Coast, you need to be careful with your weather. I see a crash and collision event, okay. You know, Manchester's had theirs, but I do see that, and I will check the themes of what I mentioned in the last predictions. I am now going to wrap this up, record it, process it, so that I can also then get on to the next set of predictions that I've got. If you are enjoying these, please do like, subscribe. Just checking if I've got a few sneaky predictions I can just move in. Stay true to yourself. Stay in love. You know what? I'm going to say this one. I was getting something about two, I feel they're boys, twins, that are twins, yeah, that were found not alive, and it was labeled as a unsubscribing, both of them. I want to say that they could like have a foreign first name or surname, and by that I mean I think this is in the States. Could it be Washington, Georgia, those areas I get? So foreign, so not like Billy, Peter. It could be their surname as well, but I get they're twins. You'll know them because of foreign names. It's already happened. Let's see where Georgia is. Georgia and Washington. Because I want to say it's like I want to say it's like the southeast coast, but I'm terrible. So Georgia's a state in the southern east, so it's not Washington. Washington's different. So maybe, you know, Georgia or Carolina, North Carolina. I don't know why I'm getting Washington as well, but I'd look out for that. They're twins. They were found not alive. It's labeled as unsubscribing. They were actually X'd, redrummed, and it was an opportunistic one. And I think within this next year, up until into next year, there's going to be a breakthrough on this. So if the family is fighting this, if you live in that area, I'm also getting Tennessee, could be near there. So you, in those areas, you might find, I'm getting a female knows about this. A female knows about this. So, I've got it noted down as a separate thing to include, and so I'm just including it in this one. A female knows or is involved. So, and it was opportunistic. So from now until next year, there's going to be a breakthrough. If the family are fighting for this, they need to continue fighting for it. We've got the Six of Cups, the Star in reverse, and the Emperor in reverse. At the moment, it looks like they're not, their hopes and all their energy in terms of getting a breakthrough is not happening. But they believe they're two twins. There was something that happened. I don't know what question I asked for this. That's why I'm like, what am I translating? But I'm just going off what I got psychically, okay? But we get the Eight of Wands, communication coming through, the secret being revealed about their passing. It could have been for money, but that was there, okay? So that could have been the opportunity. Maybe I should actually look to see if there's something around that. But if you do know, leave it in the comments and let me know. And I will see you in the next one, everyone. Stay blessed. Thank you for those of you that try to support this channel. You know, I'm incredibly grateful. And I hope you enjoyed this edition. And I think I'm going to get a cup of tea. try not to have chocolate again. I've had too many chocolates. Bye for now.